When I recently got the idea for building a fairy house in my garden, I decided that I wanted to make it out of all natural building materials because that's what the fairies like. So I started doing a little research on alternative building methods, and I've come across something called a Cob House, which is a very, very old building technique that's basically mud. It's what bricks evolved out of. But the original Cob House, nothing's baked. The mud is just packed on into these thick walls, and that's pretty much it. And evidently, some of these houses are hundreds of years old and they're still standing, which is very intriguing to me. So I decided that what I'm going to do is I'm going to build my little fairy house like a Cob House. And so I'm really not going to plan much of it. Some. But I want to kind of let the site dictate to me what this little house is going to look like. It's a fairy house. It's also turning into a little experiment in alternative building methods, so this is actually really interesting. And what I'm realizing here is there are steps that are occurring to me as I'm doing it, and they're nothing I could ever have really thought of just planning for it. So there's really nothing like actual field work to see what's going to work and what isn't. So what I'm realizing is that I'm going to need earth for my Cob House, and my little site here has very silty, very dry, fine earth, so it's going to work really well. So I'm scraping up some of it to save, because I'm going to be putting a little hill in there with some of my compost, which is not fine. And then I'm going to come back later and I'm going to sift through that and get it real fine and get all the little rocks out and stuff before I get ready to make my cob out of it. And I may actually go to the store and purchase some sand and add sand to it. But so here we are harvesting earth. My little fairy house is going to grow up out of the middle of that circle.